Corey Carpenter with Phi Theta Kappa. I'm here at Lone Star College-Kingwood talking with students about 9/11 and what it means to them. I'm here with one of Lone Star College's government professors, Dr. Tice. Where were you 18 years ago?
Oh, I was teaching at an inner city high school in Kansas City, Missouri, and probably during second period I heard people talking, so I flipped on the TV and we watched the towers come down.
Well, I was in my home and I woke up. My aunt was watching the news, and for some reason when I was seeing the news, I was thinking, what is this movie that you're watching? I asked her, what is the movie that you're watching, Tia? But she said, it's not a movie. This is actually happening.
As I can remember, I was in the third grade. A lot was going on the day of, the disaster. I just remember our teacher being on the phone, having a phone call, and I remember them turning the TV on that was in our room. And then all of a sudden I heard a lot of planes and jets that are flying over. I could hear them inside our classroom. And then I remember my mom's coworker actually coming to pick her granddaughter up and myself and taking me to my mom to be with my mom.
I was in a sophomore level pre-calculus class in high school, and I remember the calculus teacher coming in from across the hallway telling my teacher that some planes had hit the Twin Towers in New York, and I lived in New York for a while, so I was imagining little prop planes. I wasn't imagining commercial airliners.
And I've asked as my mom what she was doing, how she reacted to it. She was at work. She worked at Walmart at the time, and I remember her telling me that they literally shut her Walmart down and made them go home because they were just terrified. They didn't know what was going to happen next, if anything was going to happen afterwards. So I just remember her coming home and telling my grandma, turn the news on.
Tell us how you felt on this day 18 years ago.
And 18 years ago, 9/11, that's a crazy time. Shock, horror, a lot of things that happened back then. It was crazy I remember watching it on TV. I was actually in the Marine Corps. I was a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps. And I can't remember yesterday, but there was a kid named Fulton, and he was overslept in the barracks, so I had to go get him. And I remember watching it on the TV when I went to the barracks, and in shock and awe. But what it meant to me was, what I really took away from that is how we came together as a country.
I think it probably affected everyone of my generation, just sort of changed our perspective on what was possible. It was just probably naive, but it kind of felt like a loss of innocence, I think probably for anyone over the age of 6 or 7. I do remember very clearly that day being outside for lunch and not hearing any planes going overhead once they had grounded all the planes, which was a very weird thing because we lived in the route for the airport in San Antonio at the time, so it was a very odd experience.
Well, due to those events that happened on that day, I felt it was my duty to do something about it, so I joined the military right after that. After that happened, I signed up with the Army.
At that time I was working in an 11-story building, so it wasn't the tallest building, but it was a tall building in the area, and it was a Harris County building, so it became a concern then for security purposes.
Since it happened, during our lifetime, in my childhood, I feel like I knew a lot about it. We're still, learning from it and trying to move forward.
I remember someone screaming and running down the hallway saying, turn on the TVs, turn on the TVs. And when I got back to the classroom, the TV was on and the first plane had struck the building. A couple of other people that I interviewed about it, it seemed like a movie. It didn't seem real. It didn't seem like something that would happen in America. The teacher of the class didn't have anything to say. Everyone was speechless. And I remember there was a train track behind the school, and you can guarantee there was a train coming at a certain time, and the train didn't come. The airplanes were not in the air anymore, and I remember it just being so quiet. I feel like America became united, even at such a young age. I got to witness it, and that was a good feeling, and I wish we still felt united. I'd like to thank everyone that I spoke with today and hearing your stories. Thank you for all the first responders, all the victims' families, veterans. Thank you, first responders. Thank you, everyone.